Fame often shines brightly on screen, but behind the spotlight, our lives cut tragically short. Some actors left us in the middle of their final performances, turning their last projects into haunting reminders of fragility and brilliance. These unfinished roles carry a weight that makes us pause. As we revisit their stories, please consider liking, sharing, and subscribing to help us keep their memories alive. Heath Ledger was one of the most gifted actors of his generation, praised for the emotional power of Brokeback Mountain and immortalized through his electrifying performance as the Joker in The Dark Knight. In January 2008, at only 28 years old, he died in New York City from an accidental overdose of prescription drugs. At the time, he had been filming the Imaginarium of Doctor Parnassus. To complete the film, Johnny Depp, Jude Law, and Colin Farrell stepped in to finish his character's journey. Ledger's brilliance remains timeless, inspiring countless actors. Paul Walker captured hearts around the world as Brian O'Connor in the Fast and Furious franchise, embodying both charm and loyalty. In November 2013, tragedy struck when he died in a devastating car accident at just 40 years old. He had been in the middle of shooting Furious 7, which was completed with the help of CGI and his brothers serving as stand-ins. Fans remember Walker not only for his high-octane action, but also for his humility, generosity, and deep compassion for others. His legacy extends far beyond the screen. Philip Seymour Hoffman was celebrated for his astonishing range, from his Oscar-winning portrayal in Capote to unforgettable roles in The Master in Doubt. He passed away in February 2014, at the age of 46 after a tragic drug overdose. At the time, he was filming The Hunger Games: Mockingjay Part 2. The production had to be carefully reworked to account for his absence. Hoffman's performances were layered with depth and intensity, leaving an indelible mark on modern cinema. His untimely passing was a painful loss to audiences worldwide. Oliver Reed was a commanding British actor whose career spanned decades, known for memorable roles in Oliver and The Three Musketeers. In May 1999, while filming Gladiator in Malta, Reed suddenly suffered a fatal heart attack at the age of 61. His unfinished scenes were completed using digital effects and a body double, a groundbreaking decision for the time. Audiences praised the filmmaker's efforts to preserve his performance without diminishing its power. Reed's charismatic screen presence and larger-than-life personality made him unforgettable, leaving behind a legacy that continues to resonate in epic cinema. Brandon Lee, son of martial arts legend Bruce Lee, was on the cusp of stardom when tragedy struck. In 1993, at only 28 years old, he was killed on the set of The Crow by a defective prop gun during filming. His shocking death stunned Hollywood and led to reforms in on-set safety standards. Despite the loss, The Crow was completed through stand-ins and digital effects, transforming his final role into a haunting legacy. Brandon's charisma, athleticism, and emotional depth made him unforgettable, ensuring his name lives on as more than just a tragic story. Phoenix was one of Hollywood's most promising young talents, admired for performances in Stand By Me, Running on Empty, and My Own Private Idaho. At just 23 years old, he collapsed outside a Los Angeles nightclub in October 1993 and died from a drug overdose. At the time, Phoenix had been working on Dark Blood, a film that was shelved for decades before its eventual release in 2012. His raw talent and vulnerability made him a unique presence on screen, leaving behind a legacy of potential that continues to inspire young actors. Marilyn Monroe was more than a movie star. She was a cultural icon whose image continues to symbolize beauty and fragility. Known for Gentlemen Prefer Blondes, The 7-Year Itch, and Some Like It Hot, Monroe's career was cut short in August 1962 when she died from a barbiturate overdose in her Los Angeles home. She was just 36 years old and filming Something's Got to Give, a production that remained unfinished. Monroe's tragic passing shocked the world. But her allure and vulnerability still captivate audiences, securing her place as one of Hollywood's most enduring legends. Natalie. Wood's career stretched from childhood stardom to acclaimed adult roles in classics like West Side Story and Rebel Without a Cause. In November 1981, at the age of 43, she drowned mysteriously near Catalina Island while filming Brainstorm. The production used body doubles to complete her role, but her sudden death has remained the subject of speculation and fascination for decades. Wood's screen presence blended innocence and intensity, making her one of the most admired actresses of her era. Her legacy continues to spark conversation, both for her artistry and the mystery surrounding her death. John Candy was a beloved comedian whose warmth and humor lit up screens in films like Planes, Trains and Automobiles, Uncle Buck, and Cool Runnings. In March 1994, while on location in Mexico, he suffered a fatal heart attack at only 43 years old. At the time, Candy was filming Wagons East, which was finished with stand-ins and digital editing. His passing left fans mourning not just a comic genius, but also a kind soul admired by colleagues. Candy's legacy of laughter endures, reminding audiences of the joy he brought to every role. Bruce Lee revolutionized action cinema with his unmatched martial arts skill and magnetic screen presence in films like Enter the Dragon and Fist of Fury. In July 1973, at just 32 years old, he died suddenly in Hong Kong from cerebral edema. He had been working on Game of Death, which was later completed using body doubles and archival footage. Despite his brief career, Lee's influence on martial arts, film, and popular culture remains profound. He is remembered as both a philosopher and a trailblazer who forever changed how action films were made. Bela Lugosi. The actor who immortalized Count Dracula on screen left an enduring mark on horror cinema. In August 1956, at the age of 73, Lugosi died of a heart attack in Los Angeles. He had been involved in Plan 9 from Outer Space, which was completed with a stand-in obscuring his face behind a cape. Though his final role was fragmented, Lugosi's legacy as a horror legend was already secured. His chilling performances defined a genre, and his portrayal of Dracula remains one of the most iconic in Hollywood history. Vic Morrow, best known for his role in the television series Combat and numerous war dramas, met a tragic end during the filming of Twilight Zone, the movie in July 1982. At 53, he and two child actors were killed in a horrific helicopter accident on set, an event that shook Hollywood to its core and changed film safety regulations. Morrow's career showcased his ability to bring intensity and realism to the screen, and his untimely death remains one of the most haunting tragedies in film history, cutting short a career still full of promise. Aaliyah, a rising R&B star and actress, was just beginning to establish herself in Hollywood when her life was tragically cut short. Known for her music and her breakout role in Romeo Must Die, she was cast in Queen of the Damned. In August 2001, at the age of 22, she died in a plane crash in the Bahamas after filming much of her role. Technology helped complete the project, and the film stands as a bittersweet reminder of her promise. Aaliyah's music and style continue to inspire artists and fans around the world. Tyrone. Power was one of Hollywood's most admired leading men, starring in classics like The Mark of Zorro and Witness for the Prosecution. In November 1958, while filming Solomon and Sheba in Madrid, he collapsed from a heart attack at the age of 44. His role was completed by Yul Brynner. But the loss of such a charismatic star was felt deeply across the industry. Power's striking looks and commanding presence made him an icon of Hollywood's golden age, and his films continue to define an era of glamour and drama. Roy Kinnear was a beloved British character actor whose charm and humor shone in films like Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory and Help. In September 1988, while filming The Return of the Musketeers in Spain, he was thrown from a horse and died at the age of 54 from internal injuries. The film was completed with a double, but the tragedy left colleagues devastated. Kinnear's warmth and comic timing made him a favorite among audiences and peers, and his memory lives on in the laughter and heart he brought to the screen. Heather O'Rourke captured hearts as the innocent Carol on In the Poltergeist series. In February 1988, while filming Poltergeist 3, she died suddenly at just 12 years old from septic shock caused by an undiagnosed intestinal condition. Her role was completed using a stand-in and creative editing, but the film's release was overshadowed by grief. Despite her short career, O'Rourke's haunting line "They're here" became one of horror cinema's most memorable moments. She remains a symbol of innocence gone too soon, leaving a mark that still resonates in the genre today. Jean Harlow. The original blonde bombshell reigned as one of the most popular stars of the 1930s, known for Red Dust, Dinner at 8, and Bombshell. She became a cultural icon of Hollywood's early sound era. In June 1937, at just 26 years old, Harlow died of kidney failure while filming Saratoga. MGM completed the movie with body doubles and editing tricks, but fans mourned her sudden loss. Harlow's dazzling screen presence and magnetic personality made her one of the first true movie goddesses, and her influence continues to inspire stars today. Ray Stevenson was an actor celebrated for his commanding roles in Rome, Thor, and Punisher: Warzone in May 2023. While working on the film Casino in Ischia in Italy, he suddenly fell ill and died at the age of 58. The exact cause was never publicly disclosed, leaving fans shocked by his unexpected passing. Stevenson's intensity and versatility made him a favorite for both television and film audiences. His loss was a reminder of how fleeting life can be, but his powerful performances continue to resonate with fans worldwide. Chris Farley, the energetic comedian from Saturday Night Live, was adored for his hilarious roles in Tommy Boy and Beverly Hills Ninja. In December 1997, he died in Chicago at only 33 years old from a drug overdose. At the time, he had begun recording voice lines for Shrek, a role later completed by Mike Myers. Farley's humor, physical comedy, and vulnerability made him unforgettable, and his loss left a hole in the world of comedy. His work continues to bring joy, reminding us of the laughter he shared in his short career. James Dean became an enduring cultural icon with films like Rebel Without a Cause, East of Eden, and Giant. In September 1955, at just 24 years old, he was killed in a car accident in California before finishing Giant. His remaining scenes were completed using voice dubbing, but his presence loomed large over the film. Dean's untimely death cemented his status as a symbol of youthful rebellion and vulnerability. With only 3 films, he achieved immortality, leaving behind an influence that has inspired generations of actors and audiences around the world. From Heath Ledger to James Dean, these actors left us before their stories on screen could be fully told. Their unfinished roles remind us that while life is fragile, the art they created remains eternal. Each of them gave us moments that continue to inspire, move, and entertain long after their passing. If this tribute touched you, please take a moment to like, share, and subscribe so we can continue honoring the legacies of stars who shaped our world.